no more room in hell. The dead will walk the earth.
Hi guys, welcome back to Hydra Collectables, where we let our geek flag fly. And in this week's episode of the Hydra Review, we are taking a look at what might be the all-time greatest zombie movie of all time. We are of course talking George Romero's Dawn of the Dead. I hope you enjoy. George A. Romero's classic Dawn of the Dead is likely the most well-known of his 6-part zombie series, but did you know that it is actually available in 3 different cuts, each with their own strengths and weaknesses? For those of you who are unaware, Romero invented the zombie genre as we know it today, via his 1968 masterpiece titled Night of the Living Dead. However, a mistake regarding copyright accidentally sent this film straight into the public domain, making little to no money for all those involved. Thankfully, the same did not happen when it came time for Romero to continue his story almost a decade later, with this movie, Dawn of the Dead. Now, fans of Romero's work will argue night and day as to which of the initial 3 movies was his best, but there is no denying that Dawn is his most universal and well known. This film has great characters, jaw-dropping special effects, at least for their time, and a brilliant location in regards to the large US shopping mall. Dawn of the Dead is a film that still holds up well even all these years later, and even though some elements have naturally become dated, most find Romero's Dawn of the Dead to be the superior zombie flick. So as mentioned, there are at least 3 versions of Dawn of the Dead available to watch and enjoy, with the majority of fans most likely familiar with its standard 127-minute theatrical cut, which has been the version most released on home video. It's the default version. Then there's the version for the fans who really enjoy Dawn of the Dead's cast, an extended cut that runs for 139 minutes and shows a lot more fleshed out character moments. And finally we have the 119-minute European cut, which was edited together by Italian horror icon Dario Argento. This cut is much faster paced and removes some of the dialogue heavy scenes and comedic bits, choosing instead to amp up the horror and action. So to answer the question as to which cut of the movie is actually best, well, it's all subjective and really does come down to the individual viewer. If you love horror and just want a straight to the point horror movie, then Argento's European version is the best, as it forgoes much of the film's more comedic and satirical moments. The theatrical cut is the most balanced of the 3 and is my personal favourite for a quick watch, although the extended cut is also great, with the most notable additions being sequences showing the characters attempting to unwind and live life in various ways within the mall surroundings. Over the years I've collected loads of Romero themed items, including original posters full of signatures, action figures and more. I really do love this concept and film series. I've been lucky enough to meet the majority of the cast and crew for this particular film, including Romero himself, which was a huge moment for me, as without George and his work on these movies, I would never have gotten into the business myself. I really do owe him a lot. So, which version of this movie am I going to watch today? Well, as you can see, I have options, all thanks to this incredible Blu-ray box set by Second Sight, which to me is the most definitive collection when it comes to this movie. This same set also comes in a 4K version, and within these sets you will receive all 3 cuts of the movie, as well as a whole host of extras, including but not limited to commentary by the creators, behind the scenes documentaries, and interviews with cast and crew. So for the sake of this review, I am going to be going back and re-watching the original theatrical cut of this movie, as that seems to make the most sense when it comes to revisiting such a classic film. However, who knows, maybe in future videos I will return to give you my opinion on the other 2 cuts. See you on the other side.
A few minutes later.
Well, that was enjoyable. I think we all too often forget that this is where it all started in regards to the zombie genre as we know it today, and thus look back with little respect to how new all of this was back when it was released. Sure, it's full of zombie tropes, but this is where they all began. This is the birth of this now classic movie monster. And I believe these films deserve a lot more recognition for being such. So with all that in mind, let's go to the scoreboard and rate this movie. For story, I'm going to give it 4 out of 5. Yes, we have seen this thing played out multiple times before in modern times, however this is again where it all began. For performance, I'm giving it 4 out of 5 because I believe this cast is really strong, and as the movie plays out, you really do become attached to these characters. For visual and special effects, I'm going to give it 2 out of 5 because yes, it is very dated. We have received a lot more amazing stuff in modern times, and so yes, looking back, this is all a little bit silly. However, it is a product of its time, and without this being the case, we wouldn't have what we have nowadays. And finally, for relatability in current times, I'm going 5 out of 5, as I do believe that this film is just as relatable now as it ever was back in the day, and Romero has a lot to say here when it comes to society and our need for consumerism, giving us a grand total of 15 out of 20. So there you have it, George A. Romero's Dawn of the Dead. Which version of this movie is your favourite? Did you even realise that there were 3 different cuts of the movie? Let me know your thoughts down in the comment section below. And as always, thanks for watching.